What's up, everybody? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button to the Hoops Tonight YouTube channel, and then follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter so you guys don't miss any of our content over the course of this season. All right, let's talk some basketball. On the Bucks front, just a complete and total lack of resistance at the point of attack. The Bucks had a significant, were up 15 in the middle of the third quarter. And it was like, not only did the wheels come off, it was like every single time down the floor, the Pacers got whatever they wanted. It was one of the most problematic and concerning defensive performances I've seen from a series championship contender in a long time. I clipped a thread of all the plays this morning, and it's like 20 clips long of like, oh, you guys got a bucket? Cool. TJ McConnell brought the ball up the floor and just beat his man off the dribble for a layup. Oh, you got another bucket? TJ McConnell came up the floor, just toasted by Chris Middleton and dropped it off to Ben Mathurin at the basket. They get a stop. Here they come down the floor. TJ McConnell attacking Malik Beasley again. Here's Tyrese Haliburton getting wherever he wants. Oh, Ben Mathurin, left wing against Damian Lillard, cleared side. I'm just going to dribble right through him to the basket for a layup. It was kind of embarrassing. And one of the things that I've said consistently with the Bucks is like, I view them, again, I look at all the teams kind of in tiers, and to me, the Celtics and the Nuggets are in the top tier as teams that, as currently constructed, have serious chances to win the title. And even though the Bucks have been a very good regular season team, I view a drop-off from that tier to the Bucks, to the Lakers, to the Timberwolves, to the Suns. That next group to me is every one of those teams needs to make a trade. They just do. I don't care how many regular season games the Bucks win. I don't care that the Lakers won the in-season tournament. I don't care that the Wolves are the #1 seed in the West. To me, the Wolves aren't good enough in half-court defense. The Lakers don't have point-of-attack defenders that can also score. And the Bucks have 0 point-of-attack defenders. And so it becomes a serious issue when like every single team you play against, their guards are just comfortable. And again, there's a difference because a lot of times people buy into this like shot result thing. It's like, oh, we made Tyrese Haliburton take contested pull-up twos down the stretch of a close basketball game. And you might have your analytics professionals telling you like, oh man, contested pull-up twos are only worth X points per shot. We'll live with that. But there's, again, the statistic means, have you ever heard the expression that statistic means nothing to the individual? The statistic means nothing to the individual possession. Like, it's not a contested 15-footer as one of 1,000 contested mid-range pull-ups that are all the same. All of them are different. Sometimes there's really good ball pressure and the guy has to work really hard to get separation over the screen and the contest on the mid-range is better. Maybe there's back pressure. There's a lot of these things that make him uncomfortable that will lead to a miss. Whereas if the dude's just walking into pull-up jump shots with 0 back pressure, with 0 physical ball pressure, with 0, like a very mild contest from Brook Lopez coming out of the drop, I don't care what your analytical professionals say. That's a high percentage shot. And he made 3 of them down the stretch of the game and beat you guys. And you can, like, again, to me, like, that is why point of attack defense is such a vitally important part of an NBA defense. Like, it's not just about forcing a team to take the right shots. From the opening tip of the game, you have to make the opposing ball handler feel uncomfortable in some way, shape, or form. If you do, he'll have to work harder and fight through it, and he'll take some bad shots. He'll not feel as confident, and that's how you can force a guy into a 10 for 23 night instead of a 15 for 23 night. That's the difference, in my opinion. It's comfort. It's rhythm. Like when you go to the gym and you do cone shooting, if you're a young basketball player that's working on perimeter shot creation, like when I do my shooting drills, like I will do that rip through pull-up shooting drill that I've told you guys about on the show before. Like I catch and I rip to the right and I do a counter move and I go back to the left and I take a pull-up jump shot. You know what's great when I'm shooting by myself? It's comfort. I feel like I'm doing a shooting drill, right? Because I'm by myself. When the defense in an NBA game is allowing Tyrese Haliburton to feel like he's shooting in cone drills, He's going to make shots at a much higher percentage relative to what the giant sample size might tell you over the course of the season. Because the other pull-up 15-footers Tyrese is taking is against better point of attack defense. It's a significant issue. To put it simply, you are not beating Boston unless you find a way to make ball handlers more uncomfortable. Like, has anybody seen how well Derek White is playing this year? He's killing teams with a combination of beating guys off the dribble and making reads, finishing at the rim, and he's shooting his pull-up three-point shot really, really well. Like, that's just Derek White. It's like, okay, we have Giannis and we have Chris Middleton for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Great. Who's guarding Jrue and Derek White? Like, meanwhile, on the other end of the floor, Derek White is going to be in Damian Lillard's personal space 48 minutes, well, however long he plays, 7 games in a 7-game series. See how that one matchup could cause, like, and what'll happen is at the end of the series, people will be like, Dame didn't shoot very well. It's shot variance. And it's like, no, the Celtics are just better at making your guards feel uncomfortable than the Bucks are at making your guards feel uncomfortable. To me, it is a fatal flaw. Like, are the teams in that other tier, the Suns and the Timberwolves and the Bucks and the Lakers, can they win the title as currently constructed? Sure, but it's a super long shot. You need a ton of stuff to go well. You need a bunch of guys to play above their pay grade. You need your opponents to shoot poorly. You need a bunch of things to go your way. And that's just, it's just unrealistic to expect it to go that way. All of those teams need upgrades. And for the Bucks, they need an athletic guard that they can put next to Dame that's at least okay on the offensive end of the floor to the point where he's not a liability. That's what they need. A guy that can pick up primary point of attack assignments. That's what they need, so that they always are slotted properly and that everything makes sense. I said in training camp, Malik Beasley can shoot, didn't shoot well for the Lakers. Maybe he'll shoot well. He has shot well for the Bucks, but he was never at any point a reliable point of attack defender, and the Bucks were relying on him to be that. It was doomed to fail. And again, I understand that the standings look good and the Bucks have the second best record in the East and the third or fourth best record in the league, but it's not about winning regular season games. It's, can you beat Boston in a 7-game series? And right now, I think that flaw gets them beat against Boston. One last thing on the Bucks. Damian Lillard had some comments after the game about his offensive role, because the Bucks offense really struggled down the stretch as well. They had a 105 offensive rating in the second half, and Dame had this interesting comment after the game basically talking about him being off the ball more. And to be clear, he's right about that. Like, there is a reality to, like, when your touches change. Like, when you go from feeling the ball in your hands all the time to where, like, you're still involved a lot, but it's like a lot more like sometimes I'm giving the ball to Giannis and Chris a lot. Brooke is a guy that's pretty aggressive offensively, so like it's much more of an equal opportunity type of offense. And it is a struggle for Dame, and he's really struggling. He's cratered again in his last, in shooting over the last couple of weeks. We'll dive into that a little bit further when we get into the power rankings. But like, he is right. Like, this is a different role. And it does take time. And quite frankly, they need to figure that out, because I don't think this defense is going to be good enough to be the foundation for them to win a championship. They're going to have to enter into that Denver level of inevitability on offense. And it's just going to take time. They've got another 50 games or so, but they're going to have to figure out how to get Dame comfortable in his new role.